Hello and welcome back to Tinker Talks Guns. Today we're here to discuss the British Bulldog Revolvers produced by Forehand and Wadsworth, which are not British, but we'll get to that. Right now I'd like to shout out to my Patreon supporters. All of this costs money, and you people help a very great deal. So thank you very much. If you would like to join my Patreon supporters and support the channel, then there is a link in the description below, and if you kick a buck or two a month my way, it all helps and is greatly appreciated. So, the standout feature of the British Bulldog from Forehand and Wadsworth is that it's not British. These were produced from 1874 until 1890, after which the Forehand and Wadsworth Company became Forehand Arms and continued to produce the guns until approximately 1900. They did not keep precise records, so that's what we know. Now, these revolvers were available in 3 calibers. There was a 7-shot 32, chambered in 32 Smith & Wesson. This, the 6-shot 38 Smith & Wesson. A 5-shot chambered in 442 Webley, which honestly in a gun this small must have been quite a handful. Those are the rarest of these guns, so I have not been able to obtain an example of that as yet. But I have high hopes. So let's go to the tabletop and have a look at these little revolvers. As you can see, these are quite petite, being 6 inches long and a little under 4 inches high. And their operation is simple. You open the loading gate, fill the holes with cartridges, and you're ready to go. And has a nice, short, remarkably smooth double action. The single action pole is actually kind of heavy. And these have very light trigger pulls. The 32 caliber one has a 5.5 pound trigger pull, and the 38 has a 7.5 pound trigger pull, neither of which would be considered at all bad by modern standards. Now, to unload cartridges, you simply open the side gate, withdraw the ejector rod from its housing inside the cylinder arbor, and you just poke the cartridges out. Obviously, you are not going to do a fast reload under duress with a gun like this, and people didn't expect that. It was just, a pocket gun, and quite common. As you can see, this gun is marked British Bulldog and Forehand and Wadsworth. The 32 caliber gun is also marked British Bulldog, but has no other markings other than this, see if you can see that, cartoonish bulldog with the words trademark. The handle is very small. You get I get one finger on this part of the grip, and then one finger kind of wraps around the bottom of the grip. Fortunately, neither of these has any great amount of recoil, so that's not an issue. With the 442 Webley cartridge, which the 5-shot version of the gun used, I'm going to guess that recoil was quite exciting. And I look forward to hopefully trying that someday. Now, to dismantle the gun, you can see there's this flange mounted on the cylinder arbor, which has broken off on this one, which is not that uncommon. I've seen it on other guns where that has broken off. So you withdraw the ejector and swing it out of the way, and then you can slip the cylinder arbor out, and there you go. As you can see, there is a spring here to help retain it. And of course, the flange is shaped so that it only fits in the gun one way, which is kind of convenient. keep you from doing it wrong, I guess. And again, 38 Smith & Wesson has a 6-shot cylinder. Reassembly, of course, you just reverse the procedure. And again, the cylinder arbor can only go in one way. And then it's secured by pressing in the ejector rod. This one has antler grips because antler is cool, and the original gutta percha grips that came with this one were crap. This one, as you can see, with the missing flange, it's a little tougher to hook the cylinder arbor out. But the 32 Smith & Wesson is a 7-shooter, and this is the cartridge. It is not large, and this was not at all a powerful cartridge. So, let's put this one back together. And, you know, they're not complicated guns, so that's pretty much all there is to it. We don't know how many of these guns were made, because Forehand and Wadsworth just didn't keep that great of records. But I'm going to guess it was a bloody lot, because these are readily available. I see them in gun shows and on Gunbroker all the time. Typically they go for $300 to $400, which does not stop the perennial optimists of Gunbroker asking stupid money for them, but they don't get it, because people paying attention know they can get these for $300 or $400. The 442 Webley guns are much, much rarer, and I almost never see them on the market, and they command higher prices, usually $700, $800 on the one or two that I have ever seen come up, which is sadly more than I can afford to pay for them. But I do have ambitions. One of these days, I'll walk into Pinto's and there'll be one sitting there. I just know it. Anyway, they're fun little guns. They're not exceptionally well made, although they do seem to be perfectly safe to shoot with factory ammunition, modern factory ammunition, because 32 Smith & Wesson and 38 Smith & Wesson loads are consciously wimpy in their modern loadings. And let's face it, they were never powerhouses to begin with. But it's a great piece of history, and there were probably more of these in the Wild West than there were Colt Peacemakers, because most people didn't wear a belt revolver. You know, most people were shopkeepers and, you know, bankers and people like that, or just average citizens, and they just needed something small, compact, and rather less expensive than a full-size belt revolver. And thousands of these were imported from Belgium from various makers, and Forehand and Wadsworth, as I say, appears to have made rather a lot of them. So they were very, very popular. There's even a book that argues that the Bulldog Revolver is actually the gun that won the West. I don't know that I'd go that far, but they were pretty ubiquitous. Anyway, if you liked the video, please hit like. If you want to see more like this, hit that subscribe button. Both of those things really help the channel, and it's much appreciated. Well, I hope this finds you well. Stay safe, take care, and we'll talk to you again real soon.